Hey everyone, Dan Cohen here. This is Uncaptured Media. It's Friday evening, almost 6:30 here in Washington D.C., and I'm going to be discussing the latest news on Haiti. The um, Department of State under Marco Rubio, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, has designated some armed groups in Haiti as foreign terrorist organizations. And these are not just mere armed groups, but we're going to get into that. What are these groups? Who are they? Myself and my partner in crime, Kim Ives of Haiti Liberté, are really the only independent journalists to have covered this stuff. So we are going to have a couple of other guests join us in a little bit. We'll do a little bit of background first before they jump in. And I know, for a lot of people, this is not a front and center issue, but I mean, we're talking about the potential of this is obviously paving the way for an invasion of Haiti, some kind of military attack on Haiti, which has been in the works for years, as we've been showing on this channel, Uncaptured Media, and if you followed Haiti Liberté's work, you know that. So I'm gonna bring in Kim Ives. Hey Kim, you with me?
Dan, good to be with you again on Uncaptured Media.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. Coming off the bouncing back here.
Right. Yeah, you've been out with some kind of illness in recent days, but good to see you're feeling better. So I thought first, Kim, we could show the actual designation here. Look at what the designation says. So our audience can kind of get an idea of what's actually happening here. This is fresh from the State Department. The designation of Viv Ansanm and Grand Grief is how that is. That's the name of these armed groups, armed coalitions.
Viv Ansanm means let's live together
Mhm.
in English, and Grand Grief means big claws.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think even before we do that, first we should say, you can learn a lot about, in particular, Viv Ansanm and its leader, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, on from the work that we've done. In particular, let me see if I can pull this up from my channel, Uncaptured Media. You can see the documentary that we published last year on this very movement, and it's not our first one. Kim has been dedicated to Haiti for years and years, and I started following the Haiti story with him back in 2021. I want to say, 2020, 2021. We produced a series of documentaries, and this is the most recent one we did. We published in
May of last year.
On May 17th, 2024, on my birthday. Actually, I didn't even realize
Almost
that.
1 year ago.
Yep, exactly. Almost 1 year ago. So we published this documentary. Maybe we can show a little bit of it even. A revolution is underway in Haiti, and the United States seeks to crush it. On February 29th, okay, it's struggling. But you can see this documentary, which really lays out what is the struggle in Haiti. And you can also go back and see the documentary series we did called Another Vision Inside Haiti's Uprising, which is essentially like a prequel series to this piece that we released last year. But so maybe briefly, Kim, you can give just a short explanation of what is Viv Ansanm, who is Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, the sort of main villain in the eyes of the State Department.
Right. I would suggest viewers watch another vision first because it really does lay the groundwork for understanding the what is really the fourth of our 4 films, even though there was another film done for the redacted channel, which we call episode 4, which kind of deals with the interim between when our Another Vision series came out in November of 2022 and the Haiti Intervention versus Revolution, which came out in May of last year. But essentially, we're seeing an uprising of Haiti's lumpen proletariat, of the underclass, which was not led by any vanguard party or by any political figures, really. It was really what we could call a spontaneous, an organic, an autonomous organization that grew out of the shanty towns of Haiti. And it's not been a simple process because there were essentially the proliferation of armed groups. Many of them became involved in criminal activities such as kidnapping, extortion, rape, robbery. And
Kim, Kim, see if you can keep the mic from rubbing on your shirt.
Oh, rubbing on my shirt? Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, and same thing happened at the UN. It was like the whole time.
Remember.
Yeah. And so the Haitian National Police had actually a special unit dedicated to fighting these gangs, several of them. One of the primary ones was one called UDMO, the departmental unit of the police to maintain order, is it's what it stands for, UDMO. And one of its star captains was a guy called Jimmy Cherizier. But he, although he was a gang fighter for many years, he began to see the corruption of the system and the duplicity of the system, and he began to turn against it. And they turned against him. They tried to hang him out to dry as a sacrificial lamb after a operation went bad in 2017. And that really began his conversion from anti-gang fighter to somebody who started to say, listen, we need to actually unite this lumpen proletariat, which is armed now by the bourgeoisie, and turn the guns not against each other, as we've been doing, but against the bourgeoisie and overthrow the system. So he has essentially a revolutionary program. It isn't couched in any jargon. He speaks very simply, very clearly, very, I could say, in a popular vernacular. Doesn't use any Marxist jargon, but essentially the program he proposes is a Marxist one, or a Leninist one, I could say, of taking power and turning it over to the people. But a lot of the progressives and leftists in Haiti, as well as in the world, have not quite understood this yet. They're still drinking from the poisoned well of U.S. propaganda. And this is pretty much par for the course. I've recently been reading Red Star Over China by Edgar Snow, written it came out in 1937. And the parallels are absolutely extraordinary, the way they demonize the uprising of the underclasses. At that point, it was the peasantry that Mao Zedong was organizing, along with parts of the proletariat, which came to join him in the northwest of China after the Long March. Very interesting. The same demonization, the same terms almost are used. Bandits, they're hooligans, they're villains, they're killing too many people, etc. So these are all the epithets that are hung on this alliance that Cherizier finally, after fighting with the criminal gangs for about 4 years, from 2000 when he announced his anti-crime coalition called the G9, and immediately the bourgeoisie set up a counter coalition called the GPEP, and they fought for 2000, 2021, 22, 23. They started to basically make the alliance because Ariel Henry, who was then the U.S. installed prime minister at the time, was getting ready to bring in Kenyan troops. And Cherizier was saying to them, listen, they're coming for me, but after they get me, they're getting you. So you better throw your lot with me rather than keep working for them to undermine me and cut me down. He made 2 previous bids in 2021 and 2022 to drive out Ariel Henry, and he finally succeeded in February 2024. And that's really when the Viv Ansanm crystallized. That's when it had its first victory, and of course, it's had a lot of setbacks since then. The Kenyans have arrived, but they've been pretty much ineffective. But the demonization campaign continues, and for many people who haven't been following our reporting and the analysis that comes out weekly in Haiti Liberté, every Wednesday the paper comes out. You can find it at HaitiLiberté.com, and you'll find the films also on the Haiti Liberté channel of YouTube, as well as the Uncaptured Media channel. But those films and that reporting, and of course the redacted piece called Special Report on Haiti from November 2022 as well, those all really help to give you the background on what Viv Ansanm is and why Rubio is going after it now with his terrorism charges.
Right, and you mentioned the ouster of Ariel Henry, who was the what they called the interim prime minister that the U.S. appointed after the still unsolved assassination of the president of Haiti, Jovenel Moise, and basically right after he was assassinated, Washington appointed Ariel Henry shortly after. And Ariel Henry was also one of the top suspects in the still unsolved assassination of the president. And so, actually, if we look down on this designation that the State Department released today, here it lists that why did they do that? Why did they designate these guys as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists? And they list the groups provide a unified platform for criminal groups to use violence to destabilize Haiti and quash actions aimed at restoring state control. Viv Ansanm has launched coordinated attacks, etc., and forced the resignation of former Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry. So Ariel Henry was backed by the Biden administration, even though he was universally reviled in Haiti. And the secretary, the undersecretary for Latin America, Brian Nichols, at the time, he said that we're supporting him because he's rolling back fuel subsidies. He's which we've wanted him to do for a long time. So you just see the totally anti-democratic nature of this. I mean, what I want to do is just kind of, we'll get more into the nature of Viv Ansanm when our guests join in a little bit. But I think, Kim, you and I can really just point out how insanely hypocritical this is. I mean, when I think, of course, of what's occupied my mind for the last, 18, 20 months, wherever we are now, is the genocide in the Gaza Strip that the U.S. is a partner with. It's not even just that it's supported. So, I mean, we've just watched children, men, women be obliterated on our phones every day. And we're just peering into this horror that the Biden administration and now the Trump administration has supported in every way possible.
They're the sponsor.
Exactly. And for Marco Rubio to suddenly claim to care about, human rights and to be opposed to terrorism just reeks of hypocrisy. Doesn't even begin to describe it. So you see, so I think, when I talk to sensible people who are not maybe very informed on the Haiti question, when I tell them, the U.S. has sanctioned Jimmy Cherizier. They've said he's this, that, and the next thing, all these terrible things, and they're like, well, that suggests that he's actually doing something good if the U.S. hates him, which sadly that is the case. That is a very good indicator, and so that's certainly the case here. And that's not to say that Viv Ansanm is some kind of perfect organization, and we'll get into that with our guests more. But the hypocrisy is just astounding, overwhelming, and I mean, I have a video pulled up that we published back in November of 2024. And I have to be careful that I don't show the most gruesome part, but we obtained footage of a Haitian National Police armored vehicle provided by the United States patrolling the slums of Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, and a police officer summarily executing a civilian and then picking his pocket, robbing him, and then driving over his dead body. So I'm going to just show part of this so you don't see the entirety of, so we don't get.
I think the actual act is snipped out. Is it not in this?
In this, maybe. No, I don't think it is. Okay, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not. So you can see just in front of the police vehicle, you can see this man who had come walking out, and now he's going to walk up to the vehicle. The camera zooms in. Now you see the police looking at him there.
He'd been summoned from over a house over on the left, which you can't see. Yeah.
And he reaches into his pocket clearly to pull out his identification. And you can go onto the channel and watch the video in full. And all right. I want to be careful there that we don't show the actual. There are two shootings. He shoots him once, and then we'll go back here. Yeah. There you can see he's dead on the ground. He's been executed. The police then turn their turret. Oops. They drive up ahead, and now they drive up ahead. Then the police officer gets out of the vehicle,
calmly walks over.
Calmly walks over and picks his pocket. See what he has.
And the guy had just been talking to them in a relaxed way, obviously. I'm sure he was maybe a little nervous because a lot of people have been shot dead.
He was complying
by the cops. And he was just shot. You can see in his body language when he was shot just the total surprise and shock that he had.
Exactly. He was complying. He was doing exactly what he was supposed to do. You can see it. He presented no threat, and the police just executed him and then robbed him. Yeah. So there it is.
And there they drove back.
And then they drove over his
body.
Him.
Yeah, drove over
him. I hope that doesn't get us busted. But so these are
these are the cops we're dealing with. And this week in Haiti Liberté, if you go to the English section, we have a story about a guy in Port-au-Prince in the north. He was basically a truck driver, lived in Pompano Beach, Florida, but he was from town of Jean Rabel in the northwest near Port-au-Prince. And he was trying to build sort of a liquor factory in Jean Rabel, and had been saving up and working to build this as most Haitian expats have a dream of going back and setting up a business and living in the country. And he'd ridden his motorcycle from Jean Rabel to Port-au-Paix, which is, I don't know, a distance of about probably 15, 20 miles. He got in, he was tired, he went to his cousin's house, asked her to make him some food. He was famished, lay down on a bed, and boom, in burst 5 cops. They immediately seized him. They started beating him on the scene, even though he said, listen, here's my papers. I'm a, U.S. Citizen, and I am, here trying to do business. And they took him out and they killed him. And then they beheaded him, cut off his limbs, dismembered him. It was gruesome. And this is the type of terror which the police and the barricades, just on the 30th of April, 4 kids were going past a barricade, boys and girls, in Paco, where there'd been a battle a couple of days ago. And the barricade people just arbitrarily killed them and beheaded them. So this is the type of terrorism going on against the people. And then the groups which are fighting back against that are the ones being designated terrorists. So again, it's a lot like Israel-Palestine. The Israelis, who the world can see are the terrorists in the case of that conflict, are the ones now being called as the victims of terrorism.
Right. And, we should point out Viv Ansanm is also now it has become a political party over the last year or so. Yes. And so all along, 6 months, all along, Jimmy Cherizier has emphasized that he prefers dialogue, a political resolution, a nonviolent resolution, but the regime put in place by the U.S. does not want that. There is no elected government. There is no democracy in Haiti. There is not a single elected official. And so it's a completely illegitimate regime that the Biden administration concocted over a period of time after Viv Ansanm forced out the interim prime minister, Ariel Henry. And this is the status quo. So Marco Rubio, the State Department, the U.S. just expects that Haitians are going to just accept that they do not get a say in their country's matters, as police are just gunning down people in the street, murdering, executing, disappearing them,
and they're paramilitaries, just like in Colombia, the paramilitaries, which were the even more vicious arm of the police.
Right, exactly.
Or as vicious arm.
Exactly. Do you want to check with our guests?
Yeah, I think Kervens and do you see either of them?
Here we got. Okay, we have Kervens.
We have Kervens in.
Do you want to hear? I'll bring in.
I guess bring in Kervens.
Hey, Kervens, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty much good. I'm okay, just shocked by the news.
Yeah. Did you hear our discussion leading up to this?
Oh, no.
You just joined. Okay. Well, maybe, Kim, do you want to introduce Kervin so our audience knows?
Yes, Kervin Louissaint is a, I guess, what can we call him? An influencer. He is an analyst who has a presence on TikTok and YouTube and Twitter, X, and other platforms, Instagram too, I believe. Kervins, yes?
Yes.
And he's got many diplomas. He can tell them if he'd like, but primarily he is an analyst who has a deep knowledge of Haiti and is very articulate. He's written a couple of articles, which we've published in Haiti Liberté as well, and which he sometimes publishes on X. And one of the main reasons we did want to invite Kervens is he was on December 2nd of last year, basically exactly 6 months ago, or he was designated as somebody who was supporting the Viv Ansanm, and the police put out a warrant via Interpol as well.
The Haitian National
The
Police. Just to
Haitian
be clear,
National Police.
the Haitian
Yeah.
National Police, who you just saw a video of, them executing a civilian.
Yeah.
Those police.
Saying that he should be arrested, apprehended, and arrested. And so, Kervens, you could take it from there. You were surprised by this. It was you. We will be joined by Ralph Lauron, that's his more or less media name. Max Louissaint is his real name too. No relation to Kervin Louissaint, but they were both named on this, as well as a woman, Bertha. Bertha's last name I've forgotten, but they were all basically very speciously, ridiculously accused of material support, aiding, gun running, I don't know what all, simply because they had the temerity to opine and analyze in a way that did not match the State Department's analysis, the situation on the ground in Haiti, particularly with Viv Ansanm. So, Kervens, yeah, okay. Oh, Dan, you got something more?
Well, Kervens, when you came in, you said you were surprised by this designation of Viv Ansanm and Grand Grif as terrorist organizations. Why were you surprised? Let me ask you that.
Oh, first of all, can you hear me perfectly?
Yes, yeah, you're very clear.
First of all, the reason that I'm surprised is because designated an criminal organization or any sort of organization as terrorists in a country has never helped. We have many examples, as we saw what happened in Afghanistan. We saw what is happening right now in Mali, Burkina Faso. As the French did it. The American tried many times in the Middle East. It didn't work. Actually, it aggravated the situation. So right now, we all know that the Haitian government is instrumentalized the justice system to go after anyone who's against what they believe as the solution. We all know that these things will eventually lead to innocent people paying for what is happening, because they will not go after the architect of this organized chaos, like I call it. It's an organized chaos, a control anarchy over there. We all know what is happening, and they're not going for the head of the snake. They just keep cutting the tails.
Mm-hmm. The head of the snake being the Haitian bourgeoisie in your analysis.
I would basically be more specific. The financial sector that control, the whole criminal economy of Haiti.
Yeah, but in many ways, this is closely and deeply linked to U.S. interests, is not?
Exactly, because of the type of interest they have in Haiti, and they even said it. They say that what is happening right now is kind of destabilizing their interest in the region.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. So, Kervens, you were. Can you tell a little bit about when you found yourself the subject of an arrest warrant on the part of the U.S. and you did some fight back in your own way, as I understand it. Maybe you could talk a little about that.
Actually, the first thing I realized is I heard stories about these type of things, but I never believed that it could be true, that they would use such a prestigious institution to go after people who disagree or just people who just speak up, because at this point it's not even about disagreement or agreement. Is basically once you speak up, you are a problem to the system, because the way they control these people is by fear of speaking up, fear of saying anything, you know. The second thing that I realized in that moment is just like, now I'm skeptical about many people that they say that are guilty. I'm asking myself, are they really guilty, or is just the same thing that is happening to me that is happening to them? Because now you cannot believe a word of what the government is saying or any state institutions are saying. You become a little bit skeptical because you're asking yourself, what is the truth? Because you know that they're not telling the truth. They be fabricating evidence, they be photoshopping evidence, all type of things over there. The third thing is, I finally realized how incompetent they are. In terms of when I tried to contact those institutions, I couldn't get any of them, which is crazy. Imagine that they saying that they
When
are
you say
after
those
me.
institutions, who do you mean exactly?
I tried to call the
Interpol?
DCPG.
Mhm.
DCPG, I couldn't find them.
Can
Um,
you for the audience, can you give the English what that acronym
it's
means?
like the Judicial
Haitian FBI.
Police Department of Haiti, basically. I
Yeah.
tried to get in contact with them, I couldn't. I was the one that told the Haitian National Police that they are after me. They didn't even know. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Like, I called him and I told him, look, I found this information over the internet on you guys official page. So what is going on? And they didn't know. They didn't know that they were even looking for me, which is crazy, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
They lied about Interpol going after me. Interpol is not aware of that. Is
Mhm.
basically unaware of that. I called the U.S. Embassy. They didn't know anything about that. The State Department, they didn't know anything about that. So it's just to show you that down there it's pure lawfare. It's like
Mhm.
anyone who disagree or speak up, they will try to find a way to shut you down by any means necessary. And I believe that if I was in Haiti, I would be killed because they say that I'm armed and dangerous. So imagine with the situation going down there with expeditive justice, where the people take things to their
Into
own
their own
hand.
hands.
So I could have been eventually I would have been killed.
Yeah. I think on a legal front, Dan, one thing we should note about this moment is that what the people should understand that theoretically here in the United States, you can have any opinion of anything, even a terrorist group. You can say, I think they're doing good things. Uh, in the past, it has been like that. That it doesn't mean that you could send supplies or material support to them, but you could have a favorable opinion and voice a favorable opinion. But now, what the Trump administration has begun to do, and of course, the first case of this, which has now been repeated several times, was that of Mahmoud Khalil at Colombia, who a green card holder who made no statement of support at all for Hamas, or he simply said what Israel's doing is not right. And they arrested him, and he's in Louisiana fighting for his freedom now. So it looks like now more and more, it isn't even uh, the line is not being drawn at people who send material support or send any kind of aid, but even voice an opinion, which is not the U.S. line. They also can be uh, victimized in the same way that Khalil was. And do you fear something of that nature, Kervins?
It's a possibility because at this point, um, you don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, once they labeled these people as such, we are in the blur lines of law right now. So you don't know what they can do or cannot do because think of it this way, right? However, I'm hoping that the people of Haiti will finally open their eyes and see what's going on because they have most of the people that they sanction in their territory living in the US. They haven't done anything to them. So let's see if they're gonna go after them. Think of it this way because they say that these are the people that were financing, orchestrating, being the head of those groups. So let's see if they're going to go after them first. That would be the common sense thing to do.
Yeah.
Let me point out this in this State Department release on the designation, this clause towards the end: persons, including American citizens, that engage in certain transactions or activities with these entities or these individuals may expose themselves to sanctions risk. So that, I mean, I'd have to look back at previous statements of what the standard language they use is, but it seems very vague. Okay,
Activities. Yeah.
exactly. Certain transactions, okay, transactions that I guess that implies or suggests support, some kind of material support, giving them money or supplies or something like that, which sounds standard. Or activities. Activities could mean all kinds of things, and it is very normal for journalists to interact with people the U.S. government does not like, including people who they have sanctioned. And that includes journalistic activity. And that is absolutely not illegal. But the language that the government uses here, that the State Department uses, is a bit troubling to me. And I mean, I'll say, I'm guessing, Kervins, you've experienced some of this too, but Kim and I have been smeared constantly over the past couple of years as the spokesperson for barbecue. We work for barbecue. We're paid by barbecue.
We sleep in his house.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy lies when we have a purely journalistic relationship with him. And it's, to the point where there have been multiple protests against Kim, one of which was outside his office, the Haiti Liberté office in Brooklyn, New York. And
twice at the office.
Twice at the office and once outside of his house. And well, it's just a couple of, maybe a dozen lunatics who are totally out of their minds and have no idea what's actually happening on the ground in Haiti and are just hepped up on propaganda or something more insidious, perhaps. It does create a sort of narrative that has, of course, no evidence. But when I look at this language, it certainly makes me wonder what exactly they have in mind. And of course, as Kim, you were saying, with the case of Mahmoud Khalil and several and others who are in ICE custody, and the Trump administration is trying to deport. And those are not citizens; those are permanent residents and visa holders. But this says including American citizens. So it's obvious that, this is what's happening in the Palestine case. It's an attack on the First Amendment, because the First Amendment does not protect only citizens. It protects everyone, visa holders and permanent residents, or otherwise known as green card holders, as well. And so this is an attack on the First Amendment, and this says this can be done against citizens too. So I think it's intentionally vague language that the State Department should clarify. And, is it, in this case, trying to criminalize journalism?
Yeah. And Kervins, did you have anything to say on that matter?
I believe that everyone has right to express their opinions, even if you disagree with them. Um, there's a sense of willingness to silence these people, which I find very annoying in a sense. Why I say that? These people are victim of the system, and right now I can tell you, not a single people living in Haiti have the trust of the Haitian government. When the Haitian government says they're going to do something, they can't. They can't do it. They don't have the means. They don't have the power to do it. They don't have the authority to do it. Meanwhile, these groups that they're labeling as terrorist group, when they say they are going to do something, they do it.
They do it.
And often they prove many times to us that what the governments are saying are lies.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I think they are trying to silence these people and also silence anyone that give them a platform to speak up.
Right.
And what kind of world are we living in if we cannot get both sides of the stories? I'm not
Right.
saying that everything that the governments are saying are lies, but I want to know what they're saying too, like so I can make my own conclusion. And I believe that's how you get to solve an issue too, by having both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, I truly believe that it will radicalize these people, because if you stop someone from speaking, then they become angrier,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because that option is out of the table now, because there's no such thing as communication, negotiation, or expression. It's just do or die.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they are doing to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's clearly what they've been doing with Viv Ansanm. Their spokesman, Jimmy Cherizier, known as Barbecue, is a very articulate, very charismatic, we could say, figure who speaks quite regularly on YouTube now, primarily on the channel of Ralph Lauron, who hopefully will join us shortly.
He's actually we have him here. He's ready to
we
jump
have.
in.
Let's bring on Ralph.
We got all right.
Hi,
Hey Ralph, can you hear us?
Ralph.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
All right.
Have you followed some of the discussion up to now, Ralph?
Yes, it's been a few minutes. I've been on listening to you guys, and thank you for having me. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kervins. Thank you, Kim. So I'm glad to be here to talk about to speak the truth.
Yeah. Let me just give a little background on Ralph Lauron, who has one of the largest Teletambour Live, I believe, is the channel.
Live Tambour Vérité. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tambour Vérité Live, yes, on YouTube. And despite algorithmic sabotage and various other attempts to shut him down, has become one of the go-to places. I mean, that's where I go to if I want to find out what Jimmy Cherizier has said in the last day or two or three. I go to his channel, and that's where I'll find it, because on YouTube, it's more or less squirreled away somehow. It doesn't come up if you do the filter latest update, but you will find it on Max's channel. And he has almost daily discussions with the community, and is in many ways a voice here in the States, but also was one of those, along with Kervins, who was designated as a criminal by the Haitian police, Haitian National Police, the same Haitian National Police we saw gunning down people in the street. So, Max, your thoughts on this latest designation by Marco Rubio of Viv Ansanm as a international terrorist organization?
Oh, thank you again for having me, guys. Today, what hit me harder today when I see what this note came out, or this information when it came out, is the hypocrisy and the lies. It's a document that is filled of hypocrisy and lies. Hypocrisy. I'm reading one of the paragraphs where it says um, Haitian gangs. If I look at this, it says Haitian gangs, including the Viv Ansanm coalition Grand Griffe, are the primary source of instability and violence in Haiti. Now, this is a big lie. I'm starting with the lie. Why? Because violence, um, whoever is doing violence it's violence. Whether you are a Viva Sam, whether you are HNP, whether you are Wakale, it is violence. And there is so much criminal, executions going on in Haiti, committed by the HNP itself
This is the
via
police. Just to be clear, the HNP is the Haitian National Police.
the Haitian
Also
National
called
Police.
PNH
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah.
thank you. The Haitian National Police via that unit named UTAG, UTAG, and it is a very violent unit of the Haitian National Police committing really, really nasty crimes in the country. And you have the Boakale movement, which is another criminal association created by those who want to fight Viva Ensemble. So these people, like the most recent one, on the night of what is today? Today's the second. On the night of the 30th of April, they massacred at Paco, near Paco Avenue N. They killed, massacred, beheaded, and burned 4 young people, and they accused them of being Viva some informants without any proof. They just killed those people. Now, when I look at this, saying that Vive Ensemble and their ally in Latibonite is are the main source of violence in Haiti, that shocks me. I'm shocked because we know the truth. The truth is out there. Some people just don't want to go and find the truth, like you guys do. Then, Kim, you guys have been risking your life going down there just to help the people around the world to listen to the second to both side of to the other side of the story, because most of the time the truth is the untold side of the story. Most of the time it's the truth is hiding or is hidden behind the untold side of the story. So I think, to me, it is a machinery of intimidation, trying to shut down those like you and me who are trying to shed light on the blind spot of the situation in Haiti when it comes to violence and criminality and crimes that are happening in Haiti. So I think what happens is the same as years. For many, it's been going on for many years. The people who tell the lie, they come here, they come to the State Department, they tell the lies, and they make victory. They get victory. They go with it, and they take decisions based on those lies. All right, so it doesn't make any sense to me. And there is another thing I want to say about this is in Latibonite, you have three major groups, criminal groups. You have Basganri, you have Kokoratsara, and you have the coalition. Why only which one? Basganri is on the list. Right? What have you done with the other two? What have you done with the other two? And they're doing the exact same thing. They attack each other's neighborhood. They kill people. They kill soldiers or fighters. It's the same thing. Why leaving to the side the other groups?
But
Because
coalition and
and
Congrats
Congrats
are
yes,
pro-government.
pro-government because they're pro-government, right? And if we're talking about people killing people, I mean, everybody's killing people. Wakali is killing people, and they kill more people. I assume it. I know what I'm talking about. They kill the Wakali movement and the Haitian National Police through its those two units, all black and UTAG. They kill more people than Viv Ansanm does in the country. But what happens is the pro-government crimes are covered by the media and the human rights, local human rights organizations.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm coming from?
They are not publicized.
They're publicized, but they cover. I mean,
covered up.
They try to cover the pro-government crimes, okay, just to make the government look good. And one thing I like, they say, well, Viv Ansanm and so are trying to topple the Haitian government. Which Haitian government are we referring to? 9 presidents placed in power by the Western countries to take care of their business. And the same State Department doesn't really, they don't probably, they're not informed. It's like, oh, well, they don't know what's going on in Haiti about people, tens of people being killed every week, every month. And so many people get killed by Wakale every day. I mean, do they have this information or not? I don't know, but it's kind of unbalanced.
Yeah, I think they know very well, actually, Max. Sorry, Ralph or Max. I'll call you Max for the time being, since we've already.
No problem.
I think the State Department, when you see them taking a position, they've done more homework than any of us. They know very well what they're doing. Yeah. So for both of you, I'll throw it out to both Kervins and Max. How do you see this affecting the community at large here in the United States? Do you think this is going to make people more reluctant to discuss this, or become more virulent in their? Do you think they're going to support the vilification of the Viv Ansanm more now that they see the State Department really putting its shoulder into this?
I think in terms of territory, Haiti is a small country in terms of territory. Okay, not in terms
the
of
size of
history.
Maryland.
Yeah. I think that in the metropolitan area, everybody almost know everybody. Okay. Which means that I think they will use that to say that the fact that you know this person, or you're in contact with this person, and this person is part of, Viv Ansanm, or is part of this organization, then we're going after you. Or you're not allowed to stay in the US. You're not allowed to do this. Because I'm thinking they would use that as a tool for immigration purpose. They will use that as a tool to pressure certain people within the government, to do certain things as leverage, because now they know that if they put you on that list, you're done, you know? So I think it's a form of manipulation. It's a form of foreign interference. Actually, it is foreign interference, because we as Haitian, we always say that let Haitian decide, let us decide our future, and we have the solution of the problem, and the solution is simple. First, we need to arrest the corruptors before the corrupted. These people who are doing these bad things in Haiti wouldn't be in this situation if we didn't have those people at the top. At first, people always talking about violence, but there's no such thing as um, revolutionary violence or reactionary violence without institutional violence. If the state wasn't doing any violence to the people, they wouldn't be out there doing what they are doing, because there's economic inequality, social injustice, impunity. All of these are the factors that got us there. If we need to solve the problem, we need to go to the root of it. And to go to the root of it is to cut the financial sector in Haiti and audit them. Go to the ports and understand what's going on. Because without these people, I believe that, Viv Ansanm or any other group wouldn't be able to do what they are doing. So the politicians are part of it, the economic elites are part of it, and the international community is part of it, because they know what to do. They just don't want to do it because they want to go their way, because they have an agenda in place. They're trying to implement it.
Okay. I don't know if you have anything you want to add or say, Max?
Well, unfortunately, they will use this as a tool, as Kevin just said, to try to, scare people like me, even like you, Kim, and to stop us, prevent us from, looking for and finding the correct information to feed our audience, and why not the whole world, about what is really going on. But we should not let this intimidate us. We should just remain professional, know our rights, do what we have to do, and do it right. This information coming out today didn't really make that big noise in the Haitian community, and I was stunned. And some Haitian people, see it as a maneuver to try to. They think it's the international community, the State Department is trying slowly to destroy Haiti, continue to destroy Haiti, and give way to the Dominican Republic to take control over Haiti. And these are the comments I'm seeing out there. And they said, well, if you look at it, the Dominican Republic president was the first to mention that, oh, well, Viv Ansanm is a terrorist group. It's like he was the one campaigning just to get this result today. And Marco Rubio, he's one of those figures of the international community who looks down on Haiti so badly. I will say it. I remember in 2018, when the Dominican Republic shook hands with China, and Senator Marco Rubio was the first one to come out and said, well, it's like saying, I dare Haiti to do the same thing. And less than 3 weeks later, the head of state of Haiti, I'm sorry, had to jump on a plane and go to Taiwan. And what did it come out with? What did it bring back home? 5.2 tons of rice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he brought back home. And recently, Senator Marco Rubio, was in the Dominican Republic, head to head with the Dominican Republic president. What is going on here? And the president, the Dominican Republic president, was deeply involved in that what do they call it, MSSS, whatever, this
MSS.
international mission. I mean, if you look at it, that's how most of the Haitian people see it. They think there is something being plotted behind closed doors, but they just put this forward, the Viv Ansanm forward. Well, there's something else going on. That's how they see it, but it doesn't really shake the community.
Yes. Yeah, we should maybe say, I know we may be running low on time, Dan, but we should just say people should understand Haiti is in a very strategic spot in the Caribbean between Cuba to the west and shares the island of Hispaniola with Dominican Republic to the east. Much of the business of the U.S. interests that were in Cuba before the revolution moved to Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico after the revolution. So Haiti is seen as very strategic, very important. And as we've discussed previously on these live streams, the Global Fragility Act, people can look at those live streams, or the reporting in Haiti Liberté, is a law signed under Trump in 2019, pushed also by Biden, total bipartisan support, which aims to essentially put a U.S. military base in Haiti. So we know their end game is to set U.S. troops under a 10-year deal, a contract under the Global Fragility Act in Haiti. So all of this is maneuvering towards that, and the Viv Ansanm is standing in the way. This is the big problem, because there is no elected government in Haiti. As Max said previously, the government that is there is completely parachuted in by Anthony Blinken in April of last year, with CARICOM acting as his surrogates, handmaidens. And so we have a situation which is extremely delicate and very explosive for the U.S., and they're trying to find a way to stabilize a totally out of control situation in Haiti. Dan, I don't want to overstay our time, but let me
No, it's
know.
okay. I would like to, let me add something. I mean, I think it's also important to point out that this is not just a policy that has come out of nowhere with the young Trump administration, which is just a few months in. There has long been an effort to, as Kim was explaining, to have a military intervention in Haiti. And the U.S. prefers that to be what they call a small footprint, using special forces, using proxies, this kind of thing. And this is where the MSS, the Multinational Security Support Mission, came together. That was crafted by Anthony Blinken, and they tried to get so many countries to lead it, to be the face of it, to send their men. And the Canadians kind of declined, and the Brazilians did too. And finally, the U.S. got Kenya to do it. Kenya being the either top or second, I think the second biggest recipient of U.S. aid on the African continent, second only to Egypt, which is like the second largest in the world. So Kenya is an enormous outpost of empire in the African continent, and its forces are notoriously brutal, corrupt. I did an investigation that I published at Uncaptured on Kenyan death squads, the long bloody history of Kenyan death squads, and these are the people that are now patrolling Haiti's slums. And so I want to show that, this is not something that's new. In fact, when Trump was elected, we can show this article in the Miami Herald, this op-ed from James Foley, who was the U.S. ambassador during the second U.S. orchestrated coup d'etat against Haiti, then the President Aristide, and
2004.
Yes, in 2004. Under George W. Bush, and his op-ed when when Trump was elected was Biden couldn't sell a Haiti intervention. Trump can and should. And that's actually something that I had been arguing for a while. I'd said, this stream and on our streams and others, was that I thought a military invasion of some sort was more likely to happen under Trump administration than Biden, because under the Biden administration, it's basically, I thought it's kind of hard for them to sell like invading a black country because they have to do the woke thing. And so part of at the same time as Biden is pretending to be racially conscious and sensitive and all these things, Trump and particularly on X, they were doing total demagoguery of all the claims about cannibals in Haiti, when there was one video that surfaced of one nut job eating some human flesh, and that suddenly became evidence of cannibal gangs in Haiti, and the migrants coming to the U.S. from Haiti are cannibals, and that's why we have to go and stop the cannibal gang led by barbecue. And that was J.D. Vance and Trump and all these MAGA influencers were promoting this narrative. So that just made it totally obvious to me. I'd been saying it before that, and then here we go. Trump gets elected, and we have James Foley, the imperial hand, coming in and just saying it straight up that it's going to be easier for Trump to sell. I like the word. The word "sell" is so I think important here, because it's not not to lead, it's to sell it to the public. And I think the key paragraphs here. Should Washington refuse to intervene, the door would be open to an external power such as China to fill the void. So this is, for the U.S., this is about much the geopolitical chessboard. This is about keeping China out of this hemisphere, and also reestablishing or reaffirming U.S. control of Haiti as the U.S. pulls out. I mean, especially now with Trump's tariff war, this whole this ill-advised economic war against China, in this ill-fated supposed attempt to reindustrialize the United States. Haiti is a long-time source of maybe the cheapest, or most exploited. The U.S. has exploited the labor force of Haiti for decades and decades. And as the manufacturing base, the U.S. forces the manufacturing base to leave China and Southeast Asia, Haiti has renewed importance in this strategy. I mean, the way James Foley couches this: Trump is opposed to endless wars and pointless expenditures of U.S. lives and resources overseas, but he also revels in demonstrations of strength. Repeated experience proves that Haitian street gangs are paper tigers. When confronted with U.S. military force, they crumble. I mean, that's an enormous claim that, all three of you guys, I think, could talk about. But the idea that, if Trump decides to send some Marines into Port-au-Prince, that the armed groups would just simply would, as they said, crumble, when in reality it would be just a horror show. It would be extremely bloody. Not only would you see American troops coming home in body bags, but for these densely populated neighborhoods where there would obviously be massive civilian casualties, and the armed groups there would have basically an endless pool of recruits for people who want to get these foreign occupiers off of their land. So if there's any way to raise the profile and to make Viv Ansanm look like patriots fighting a foreign invasion rather than criminals that the State Department wants Haitians to believe, that's exactly how to do it, is by following the advice of James Foley and the the warmongers here in Washington. So I don't know. I mean, and whoever wants to respond to that idea that
one other thing I'd like to just throw in there, Dan, before Kervins and Max jump on it, is Foley says, it may be in this piece, I don't know where it is, but essentially that Haiti is prone to destabilize and we have to periodically intervene. And it's very similar to the Israeli doctrine of mowing the grass. That is, there's this notion that, these are just unruly people. And, we've had a piece in Haiti Liberté where we compare Haiti as the Palestine of the Western Hemisphere. But I thought Foley's in presentation of Haiti as this place which is just endemically anarchic and constantly going to need an intervention to set them straight, et cetera, was one more indicator of this totally interventionist and arrogant U.S. outlook. Max Kervens, if you'd like to say something on it.
I would say that often the U.S. Believe that the only solutions to any type of problem is always violence. And I don't think in this situation that violence will solve the problem. In fact, I think if they try to send Marines in Haiti, a lot of civilian people that we so-called civilian for now will probably join these people to find the Marines, because we are sick and tired of U.S. interference. And they need to understand that what we are asking is basically an eradication of this system that is in place. We want new heads, new elites, because these people in place, they will eventually generate the same issue that we have today, maybe not tomorrow, but in 5, 10, 20 years from now. This would not solve the problem. It would radicalize Haiti more and more, because we know because the issue is impunity. Is impunity. If people are not paying the consequences of their actions, what makes you think that the people with the guns would just, accept to lose? Because when they know that the people that gave them the guns, the people that started the whole things, are living in this luxurious palace, with their wife and the kids is not even in Haiti. The funny thing about this part is most of the people that are orchestrating this organized chaos are living in the US.
Yeah.
So if the United States wanted to help, they know exactly where to find these people.
absolutely.
Max? Yeah.
Well, it is always the same repeated stories. Remember that in 1915, the US came down, and the main purpose, and I have a little archive of what they said when they first landed in Haiti in 1915. They said, "We are here to fight Haitian native bandits who are threatening the US interest," and whatever they said again.
And Haitian bandits head for the hills.
Yes,
we have that.
yes.
We have that in the beginning
I
of
have that
Another
piece.
Vision.
I have that piece. So they spent 19 years down there. When they came in, first thing they did is they handed out a convention to the first president under the occupation. His name is Philippe Sud d'Artignave, to sign. So that convention, that document stated clearly that we take control of everything that belongs to Haiti, your finance, your banks, your railroads, your everything is ours. And 3 years later, in 2018, they wrote their own constitution here in Washington. The Constitution of June 19th, 2018, which stated that
1918.
1918. Yes, they said stated that from now on, foreign people, foreign people from abroad can own lands, houses, businesses in this country. And it even said that we don't have to consult with your government to do anything. We do what we do, and we do it. In 1994, they came down again, almost for the same purpose, because there was a military coup in 1991. They said, well, they came down to restore democracy with Jean-Bertrand Aristide. And when they came down, they again took everything that belonged to us. And then they restored democracy. And how many years later? In 2004, they toppled him again. He's like a little yo-yo. All right? He goes, he comes back. He goes and comes back. They take him with the left hand. The right hand brings him back. They take him again with the right hand. The left hand brings him back. So the same thing going over and over and over again. So now we're in 2025, 2024, 2025. In 2021, right in the face of the US, right in the face of the UN, right in the face of the core group, right in the face of the embassies, our head of state, Jovenel Moïse, was assassinated. No justice, no light, no truth, nothing. And on top of that, they bring down again, because listen, they came in 2015. They came down in 2015. 1915. They came back in 1994. They were there in 2004. Now they cannot just come in like that. It looks ugly. Okay, now let's find some puppets. Let's do it. Let's choose the proxy option. Now we're going to go to Africa and find one of the most corrupt, leaders of Africa. Let's bring them down here. They look just like the same to Haiti, right? So, and then to make it look nice, we're going to go to Salvador, to Guatemala, and make them kind of mix things to get you more, to confuse the people more and more. And now they cannot just come in, just because there were armed groups fighting. They have to pave the way by imposing sanctions, imposing tags, and using terrorists as an excuse to and what I was telling my people today is now they open a door for real terrorist crimes or terrorist actions to happen in Haiti. Because when you look at this, guys, the the government itself went upward. I don't know where they went to. They came to Haiti with kamikaze, that's how you call it, kamikaze drones, right? And they are bombing the neighborhood.
Kamikaze drones, yes, kamikaze drones, which are
kamikaze drones.
Let me just explain very quickly, because I've been reporting on these for about a decade. Kamikaze drones they take off as a drone and then they turn into a missile that just finds any target. So it's not as if it's necessarily seeking out a certain person. It will just choose anyone to attack and just kill them.
Okay, so they to me, I look at this as an initiation of Haiti to the terrorist thing, whatever they call it. So now they are open ways for real terrorism to happen in Haiti. because when you as the government are bombing the people in the neighborhoods where there are hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. Now, what do you tell? What kind of lesson are you teaching those people? And even those who have weapons, those who you call gang members, gangs, whatever. So it is, to me, what's going to happen in the near future. They are going to aggravate the situation just to find an excuse to come back for a fourth time, okay, in the near future, and say, well, we cannot tolerate terrorism near our country because Haiti is, from Port-au-Prince to Florida, it's 1 hour and 45 minutes by airplane. So we cannot let this to happen. And then they're going to send down their, troops, Marines, and all that, and they're going to do what they have to do, what they want to do. They're going to, sit there. Real
going to try.
Yeah.
They'll try.
Second.
They will try.
Yes, exactly. They will try.
Yeah.
Well,
as Fidel Castro used to say to the Americans, you can come, but you won't leave. That was interesting also that one of the first acts of the Trump administration was to put Cuba, and you can hardly think of a nation which is more benevolent in its external actions and aid than Cuba, and they immediately put them on the supporters of terrorism list, which was, of course, absurd. But we see how the Rubio State Department in particular really is using this terrorism option as one of its principal cudgels. Dan?
Yeah, I think
Kervin.
you guys want to say something? Somebody want to say something?
Yes. One last thing I'm going to say about this is there's a sentence from Viv Ansanm. They say that there are basically, they say a quote from 50 Cent. If life is hard, then death gotta be easy. I can tell you this. These people already been to hell. They know what the hells feel like it. And they have been conditioned to live in hell. And I believe that the people they are sending doesn't know what hell look like. And these people in Haiti, they have nothing to lose, everything to gain. And when you have nothing to lose, everything to gain, you're not only fighting for your life, you're fighting for freedom even after your life. And I can tell you, not only people that are part of Viv Ansanm that feel the same way, but a lot of Haitians have that same feeling in their head because they feel like they need something to fight for. They need a common enemy. And I believe that if the US come, there will be what needed for the people to spark up whatever they want to achieve. Because right now they feel like they are fighting against themselves. But think of it this way: the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, in that sense, I believe that a lot of people will join or get together to fight this common enemy because we don't want them in our land, and they need to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Any final comments, Kim?
One thing I'd like to say, as both Max and Kervins have pointed to, this is not a military solution. This is a socioeconomic problem. This has been the constant refrain of Jimmy Cherizier since 2020 when he burst onto the scene. He said, we just need hospitals, schools, sanitation, electricity, housing, the basics of life. We cannot go on living in sewage and poverty the way you've condemned us to live. And that's all they are asking. And again, as I've said in other broadcasts, this is the basis of all revolutions. The Bolsheviks' revolution was a basis on land, peace, and bread. They're simple demands. You are just trying to allow the people to live, but they're trying to squeeze the Haitian people. And the same way we see in Palestine, they think they can exterminate it, but they're just increasing the ranks of Hamas with the horrors, the atrocities that we see live streamed every day. So to me, you want to open another Palestine 600 miles southeast of Miami? Go ahead. You're going to reap the whirlwind, because the Haitians, one thing is for sure, they, as Kervins was saying, or as Jimmy Cherizier said, we died already. We're already dead. We have nothing to lose but our chains. And I think Marco Rubio and Trump could be in for another very, very rude awakening.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll point out one last irony: the idea that Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, the leader of the group formerly known as Al-Qaeda, former Al-Qaeda and ISIS leader, who is now been appointed as head of state of Syria, just like Ariel Henry was appointed, is not considered a terrorist anymore by the United States. A guy who was in Al-Qaeda and ISIS, which I'm old enough to remember. I'm sure, Kim, you remember. I don't know if you guys were in the U.S. at this point, but when after 9/11, the war on terror started, George Bush told us that they were going to fight Al-Qaeda till the end, anywhere around the world, and it was the ultimate evil and enemy that we had to, especially guys my age, had to enlist in the military coming out of high school to go fight. And now that guy is totally forgiven. They've given him a clean slate. But Jimmy Cherizier,
and a blank check.
But Jimmy Cherizier is a terrorist, despite I don't think he's ever killed an American citizen. So this is the upside down world that we are living in. And I think it's really important for people to get to actually understand what's going on in Haiti, because there are very, very, very few sources of information. And I know you guys, Ralph and Kervins, you guys work hard to get your perspectives out there in the Haitian online discourse, but in the kind of American left wing, it's very there's not much out there. So we're trying to kind of do our part to push back against this aggression against the beautiful country of Haiti. So thank you guys for joining us, and look forward to doing it again.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Cam.
Guys, I'm sure we'll have more of these discussions in the weeks ahead as the situation escalates, as I think it will.
Hey, sure, and we will have a lot to tell the world about what's going on in Haiti. And I'm ready.
You guys give your channels and where people can find your work. Max first, maybe.
Live Tambour Vérité is Tambour Vérité is in Creole, live, Live. Tambour, Tambou, Vérité, Verite, space A. Mm-hmm. Live Tambour Vérité.
And you broadcast in Creole, correct?
In Creole, yeah. French, Creole, sometimes some English.
Okay. Kervins, where can people follow you?
I'm on Instagram which is KZKD underscore KERV. Or you could just type my name, Kervin Louissaint. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter, where I write in English and French, mostly in English. So you guys should follow me to know more about what's happening in Haiti. I try to be as objective as possible so people can understand the root cause of this organized chaos, basically. So let me just say it again. KZKD underscore KERV. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
Okay. So long.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kim. We'll leave it there. So
Great.
thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thanks, Dan, again. Uncaptured, leading the way on all things Haiti
Well,
for the English-speaking audiences.
yes. Yeah. So again, for all our viewers, make sure you check out the documentary work that Haiti Liberté and Uncaptured, Kim and I have done. Starting with, I mean, if you really want to kind of get the full idea, watch Another Vision, all 3 episodes. That is a playlist on my channel on Uncaptured Media. And then watch. I mean, really, you have to watch the special report on Redacted, which I need to have all of that compiled in one place, and then watch the most recent report we did last year, documentary we did on Haiti, which is Intervention versus Revolution. And yeah.
And there is a Spanish version of Another Vision on the Haiti Liberté channel. I presume it is also on the Uncaptured. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we'll leave it there. Thanks, Kim.
So long, Dan.